we've seen in recent weeks and months that our leaders have sometimes been abusing their positions of power, have been behaving in ways that are not representative of the student body. And I think we need new leadership who is ready to take over and bring student voices like back into the fold. So I ran for the Senate last spring on a platform of trans representation. Since I got into the SA, I've branched out quite a bit. I've been advocating for trans issues, but I've also been getting involved in the running of the SA through governance and nominations, and kind of learning how it functions and how the leadership can more effectively get members to really make substantive changes. My platform was drawn directly from the complaints I've heard from students throughout my year in the Senate, almost a year in the Senate. I have 4 main pillars. Those are transparency, graduate student inclusion, back to campus policy, and equity and accessibility. So for transparency, that's the type of thing where the student body needs to be kept more up to date. We need more details when they can be provided. And we shouldn't be kept in the dark during times of crisis. Getting on to graduate student inclusion, grad students have been left out of pretty much everything this year. And I think we need to start bringing grad students in more, start working with them as undergrads who seem to get more of what we want from the university. And we need to work together to ensure that everyone's being treated fairly here. Back to campus policy, we need to try to bring as many people back to campus as safely as we can. But for the fall, we need to have mandatory vaccinations. We also need to make sure that students have the necessary resources to thrive in a, in-person but still likely isolated environment. That means we need mental health resources, we need accessibility resources for online courses, things that we have not been doing well as a university so far. Moving on to equity and accessibility, we need to focus on the name change process because it's quite frankly a burden on transgender students right now. We need to train students, faculty, and staff on how to, properly support LGBTQ plus people, or at least not treat us poorly and things like that. We need to expand the number of gender inclusive accessible bathrooms, both for people who are transitioning and more importantly for people who are lacking the ability to use a lot of the public restrooms because they're not accessible. We need to look at faculty diversity. That's something I've been working on in the Diversity and Inclusion Assembly now. GW can become an institution that is recognized for its diversity and equity.